Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, hanging out with.
Nerdarchy Ted.
And we asked the question: was it the Mad Wizard or creative design? Jump down the description below where you find Nerdarchy, the newsletter, game weekly tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy. So you brought this one to us.
All right, so trolling around the internet, not trolling, but looking around the internet, Facebook, saw a thing, somebody posted one of the D&D Facebook groups saying, why is it always an evil wizard?
So in earlier editions, actually I think they got it wrong, to be honest with you.
Okay.
In the earliest editions of the game, it was not an evil wizard that did it. It was always a mad wizard.
That's right. It wasn't an evil, it was a mad wizard.
So we can end the video right now, pretty much. No, so like your owlbears, your carrion crawlers, like most of the monsters in the monster manual, if they were a mashup of things and they were weird, Gary Gygax was just like mad wizard, or what are the other guy, other creators back then, mad wizard. They would just default to that.
Right.
It's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like the modern day cop out, like aliens. Those pyramids look like they'd be really hard to build, and those people were way too unsophisticated back then, and they didn't have the science and math and know-how.
So it had to be aliens.
So that to me is just kind of like it's the cop out, right?
Right.
And it's just a blanket statement. You can say it, you don't have to think particularly hard about it. But there's a lot of other ways we could go with it other than just saying aliens or mad wizards or evil wizards.
Well, the fact that the whole concept of D&D and all of the themes and building that has been done within the genre and within the worlds of D&D, it's really opened up a lot more options and choice that didn't exist previously.
That's true. Now, but let's stay with the wizard for a little bit here.
Okay.
And think about why is it that they always use the evil wizard or the mad wizard?
Well, the wizard is known to literally being able to manipulate the fabric of magic and time. They can do things that a normal person wouldn't do or wouldn't have the ability to do. So, like, even if you put fighter and wizard in the early editions, like, on a chart, like the fighter is higher in power and survivability, and the wizard's like, okay, well, I can cast my one, maybe two spells before I'm drained for the day, and then I'm resorted to throwing a dagger or swinging a stick, and I've got pathetic amounts of hit points, so I'm not able to go off and do this. But then as they gain higher and higher levels, the wizard catches up to and then surpasses the fighter.
You said go off and do this. I heard golf. The wizard is not able to golf. Wizards don't golf very well. No, you're right, because it was a quadratic system where the wizard started off weak but became immensely powerful. Literally, by the end of the game, he was like Genie from Aladdin.
Yes.
Unlimited power.
So when you have the ability to literally bend the world to your will, and in those days you really did. Heck, as a low-level wizard, you took over a town, or at least a portion of it.
Yeah,
in one of my games, and I'm like,
what do I do?
Novice DM, how do I deal with this? And now I can handle it just fine, and the spells have gotten less powerful. But it's like, okay, well, why wouldn't I have the ability to do this? And if you've got someone that's just whoop, I went left or I went right, and I'm totally off my rocker. Okay, well, of course, it's an easy thing. Okay, well, they wanted to see what happens when you do this.
Well, it's just like science today. Like there's what you would consider fringe science or things that are kind of like on the outskirts, and because although you can do certain things, you probably should not. There's a reason why, they limit testing on animals because it's cruel, and you're not using, human subjects for this stuff because it's cruel. It's the same thing with wizardry. So, if you take EO Wizard and then you remove those moral quandaries, they can use those mutation spells on unwilling participants,
Subjects.
subjects, or play with dead things as the necromancer will, or even higher levels they can bend and alter the fabric of reality with a wish spell. They've got so many options, and really just takes one unethical wizard to be like, well, why can't I mash this owl and this bear together, creating Fluffy the owlbear? It just seems like the natural progression of evolution to me.
No, absolutely. But when you want to look at, well, I want to put something in my world, and I don't want to use that trope. I don't want to be like, oh, it's aliens, or oh, it's a mad wizard. What do we have as options? How do we go about saying, well, I have this thing. How did it get there?
So there is a lot of solutions, but even that being said, like it doesn't take away from the fact that it is really fun to have a mad wizard that did it. But listen, in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, you have supernatural creatures, you have gods possibly roaming around, you have magical phenomena. You depending on what kind of game you're playing, you literally could have aliens show up and they could have did it. There is a lot of different things that could happen. You could have monsters that are exposed to strange magical radiations, or magical energies. In a fantasy game, a lot of times it is going to have something to do with magic. But that also being said, it could just be because this is a made up world, things just evolve differently there. You could literally go with the evolutionary track of a particular location in your world and just say this is how things evolved. There was no mammals there, nothing mammalian. It's all reptiles, or it's all birds, or it's all fish, or whatever. And then have them evolve along the same track as something in the real world would have, except for you know its species is kind of changed. It's or its classification is no longer the same. You could take like a crocodile version of something and make it mammalian. Or you could take something that, like we've even done in our own worlds where we go, oh, dranthers and war dranthers, which are really just like half dragon great cats.
Right.
And
So
then,
it replaces the horse.
Yes.
It's the mount. So it's a big enough to be a mount, but it's designed after like a panther.
right, and in that case, there's no magic necessary. It's just this world where everything just happened to be draconic or reptilian, and that's how things evolved.
And that's where the direction I was going to go is when you have things like alternate planes of existence, including even smaller demi-planes, things tend to have the ability to be flavored in a certain direction. So you could have a world where everything is felinoid or feline. And as you do more and things evolve there, well, what's to say that you couldn't have a bear that's just a giant feline? It's heavily muscled. You could give it like saber-tooth tusks if you really wanted to. You could go all kinds of crazy with it. But because it comes from this world, that's the way it is. And then once you start opening up planar travel, people can, teleport something somewhere. People have the ability to open up trade, and all it takes is a little bit of, okay, well, there's enough of them there, the species propagated, or what have you, or they crossed with this other thing that's there that's similar in size, and whatever, boom, it happens. It's now a staple in your world that wasn't done because somebody decided to do genetic magical experiments.
Well, also, you can replace Mad with Wizard with Cleric, Druid, Scion, God, Demon, Angel, whatever you really want. I believe in Curse of Strahd, like, they have mongrel folk because an angel's playing with stuff. As opposed to a mad wizard or something else. You could, it could not be intentional. It could have been an accident.
Yeah, I mean, there's always crazy magical things that exist in a world, be it areas, magic items, and again, you've always got that evil wish spell that can do things.
You do, and essentially, kind of circling back, like magic essentially just replaces science. So you can use that for anything, and that is why the mad wizard generally does it, because it's what the mad scientist would do. But in D&D, we don't have mad scientists. We have mad wizards.
Right.
And that's why he's the one that always did it. So, but here we did throw out some alternatives. We'd love to hear your alternatives that you can drop down in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out over on Instagram.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.